justice for all.
I thank everybody for coming tonight. We have a special guest tonight to talk about our chillers. It's New York Power Authority. If everybody don't mind, I'd like to get them up first. We came a long distance to get here tonight. So, guys, if you'd like to come up and discuss the chiller.
Sure, where do you want us?
Just come right up here.
Push the podium forward.
Yeah.
Sure.
So just a little background on this. Last year, we wanted the New York State Power Authority to upgrade our chilling system at our rec center. We had some prices last year, but they went up in price. And I brought the Power Authority here tonight to see if they, that they can explain to the board the difference and what other options that we have.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Matt McClure from New York Power Authority. The project cost that Paul mentioned earlier, the initial project cost was based on an estimate. It was never a solidified project cost. So during the process, we actually do a full design on the system and then take that design out to bid. We received bid prices back that increase the project cost and leads to an overall increase. Yeah, the actual cost of what's going to be to implement the project. That's, in a nutshell, that's what caused the increase.
So pretty much the difference in total of the project increase is $123,000, or $123,938 is the difference in cost. There's one thing through my walkthrough that I had with the engineers from the Power Authority. I wanted to move the dehumidifier from the inside to the outside, because also tonight I wanted to go over, I got some plans for an architect to go out for a grant for the rec center, and one of the things was to make it that it's fully accessible around the rec center. They would put a staircase that's there, so it would be safety for the opening of when they come in and out with the machines, that there would be no accidents that could occur. So that was one thing that I asked for, but it's still not in this quote either. So that's an additional charge we have to look at. That's the
We've actually worked with the winning contractor, and we can include that in this.
Oh, you can. Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, this is, yeah, breaking news.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
We negotiated with the contractor to
Okay.
include that in the project.
Okay. So I guess my biggest thing is the actual cost of the contractor wasn't my issue. My only issue was it's a percentage for project management. So the project management percentage went up, about 30-something thousand alone because the cost of the construction went up. Now, I don't know if this is right, but it's because of the time of year that we're doing this, or do you think that?
It's a function of the Power Authority's project implementation program. I mean, this is our fees are based on a percentage of the construction cost for the project. That's just the way it is for any customer, any project that we implement. They are established fees and established percentages. That's just the way it is.
Okay. Do you think if we did this project a little later in the wintertime, do you think that this would cut the cost right now because everybody's so busy this summer, that's why the price went up so much? Because I reached out to like Bird, which does chilling systems, and they weren't even close in price for implementation and everything for this. So I'm thinking, but again, they said this summer they wouldn't have to be able to do it because the business right now is just jamming. So I mean, is that something that? Do you think that hurt us though in the bid? Because we had the same situation a couple of years ago when we did a project, a stormwater project. We wanted to do it in the summer. It was, it was like a $900,000 for the first pond. We did it in the wintertime, wind up $400,000. So,
Right.
I mean.
I can't speak for the contractors that bid into the project.
Okay.
But
I can tell you, on the IC, we're the ones who took in all the bids.
Okay.
The lowest bid that we got was from Davis,
Okay.
and they were significantly lower than the other bids.
Okay.
So, and I think Davis has a relationship with the ice rink at least, and understands that because he's done a lot of work there, and that's probably why he was able to be significantly lower. Whether you could get a discount of doing it in the wintertime or not, it's kind of a tough question for an ice rink chiller, because you would be working around an operational, already in operation chiller.
Right.
So it's not like you can take the chiller apart and dismantle it and then have all your ice melt and have to start the season over in the middle of the season. So chillers are a little different than regular construction, where you can sometimes get a break in the middle of in the winter
Yeah.
season because you're actually actively using the chiller in the winter season.
Well, they said they have portable units that come in like on a tractor trailer.
Yeah.
They would actually take care of that, so they would hook it up and get it running.
Yeah.
And they could still work on the unit that's there and have it fully functional while, you know, hockey's in session.
Yeah,
That can be done.
So-
yeah, and that would be an option for you, and you know, I'm not sure what NIPA's ideas about going out to rebid on this are, but
I don't think we have the time this year.
if we want to get up and running by the start of the season.
Right, okay.
So the
So,
figures we're using are Davis, he's the low bid.
Yes.
That's
yes,
Just, what does the Power Authority do for us?
We manage the project from start to finish.
So you accept the bids, see the low bid, and provide those figures to us?
Yes.
Again, I'm confused on what the Power Authority, what's the advantage using the Power Authority?
We take the project from concept through design, through bid,
Okay.
through implementation. We manage it every step along the way.
But we pay for that.
You do.
And you've already received the design work. So the chiller's been designed and spec'd out, and energy savings have been included in that.
So what's the bottom line?
well, the bottom line is again, when we went out to bond, the price was $313,000. So when I went out to bond, I said, well, you know, let's put in, 10-12% increase in it. So I bonded for $350. Now we're at $437,300. That I believe, yep, $437,300. So again, it's the additional.
And how much of that is the project management?
Well, the project management's $95,000. That's including the engineer plan that our architect spec'd out, before we got involved in this. For us, it was like 10,000 of it to go out to bid. But that's just because we spec'd it out. But, so it was 95,000 total for the project management, and I guess that's part of the power authorities, because I don't know what's consistent in that.
It's split between the power authority, our fee, and then on top of, and the implementation contractor.
Okay, which, is that the construct, what is it? There's a construction company that's involved.
Yeah.
Is that from where you're, okay, all right. So it's a construction company, I guess the engineer and the power authority is the $95,000.
All right, so if you look at the breakout, it's audit, design, and construction management. That's considered the IC, or the implementation contractors, fee. And then the NIPA project management and administrative. So we do, there are things that we need to handle on our end that obviously, cost time and money that we need to cover. So.
And I thought somebody said that when we first approached this, we had these figures, and now the cost has gone up.
Correct. So when I talked to Casey back when we did this, actually, again, they revamped this quote and even dated on January 16th, but this quote that I got was revamped in January to show what the price would be. I believe at that time, I thought that was part of the.
Yeah, and I think that's where the miscommunication occurred, is
Okay.
that proposal that Casey presented to you was an estimate.
Okay.
It's not, we didn't have any, actual numbers to work with at that point. The project hadn't been designed, hadn't gone out to bid. It's just an estimate to get us in the ballpark of where the project's gonna be. As we proceed through the process, we get closer and closer to what that actual number is, and that's where we are now. This is what the actual number is.
And again, the only thing that was confusing to me is, because you know me, I go through every estimate and try to get the best deal we can, and I tried to do that. And he actually told me they put extra in there you know what I mean, in case something happens. But
There's extra built into this cost as well. There are
Okay.
a couple of different areas, so 10%.
Like what?
Contingency, we include a 10% contingency with every project. In this case, it's almost $30,000. Of that 432,000,
To cover,
just in case something goes wrong. You know, God forbid something is not right with the chiller when it comes in, and we have to turn around and order one of those portable chillers that you talked about to get that on site so that you guys can make ice when you need to. It's just a contingency. If we don't spend it, you don't pay it. So that's built into that cost. We also include interest during construction for customers that like to finance or wish to finance a project. In this case, if you don't finance the project through us, there is no interest to be paid. That's about 12,000. And it's also over the construction period, because NIPA puts up the money to pay for the project up front, and then we're involved at the end. So during that period, that construction period, we have it in there now, I think, for what, about 6 months for the construction period. But the construction period for the project is really 8 weeks. So that's gonna be significantly less.
Oh, but
So
you're not
it's-
charging us interest during this time, right?
No.
Oh, okay,
No,
so
that's
that
only
starts the date of machines on the
Only
ground.
during
Okay, so
construction.
that whole 16,000 could be saved then?
well, a portion of it is.
A portion of it.
Yeah.
Well, the interest during construction,
This is gonna be 6 weeks, or 8 weeks.
Yeah, 8 weeks.
They estimated it's
We
gonna be 6 to 8
we
weeks.
build
That's
in
6 months.
6 months just to be on the safe side of things.
right, but what I'm saying is though, if we pay this up front, if we pay the price of the unit, why would we pay interest on it? We already have the money, we bonded for it,
Right.
so we wouldn't pay anything, right? I mean, why would we pay? I mean, if you
You had
said,
no finance.
huh?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, so there
Yeah, I
should be
don't-
no cost there.
Yep, if you're paid up front.
If we paid up front, there's no cost, so we could save 16,000 there.
Right.
And then on the contingency, just a question again, because, you know, we just did this project and everything, and we ran this in-house. You got 29,000, but if the machine comes and the machine's bad, isn't it on the company?
It'll be replaced, yeah.
Well, right, but what I'm saying is, don't they guarantee the machine that they're gonna bring the machine in for, I mean, I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Because again, I don't want another unforeseen thing to come down the pipe again, you know what I'm saying? Well, the machine's bad now, it's your guys' fault. Usually a company
No.
stands by their product and says, yeah, if we bring you a bad machine,
That's the thing.
we're
Typically,
gonna.
a bad machine is not gonna be where your contingency goes. Your contingency will typically come into play if you wanna add stuff to the project down the line.
Okay,
Or, for instance, we're pulling out the old pads, the old units. Let's say we pull out the old pads and we find a problem with drainage or, you know, all kinds of stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
And that
Something that we did
contingency
is-
is not something that gets spent, it's something you decide whether you want to spend it or not.
okay, all right, but we're putting this unit outside in a new, with a new pad, okay, all right. All right, so we have an opportunity that another 30 could be taken out of the,
Right.
okay. And now what about the 6975 for the payment, performance, and bid bonds? Is that an accurate number for, because that's actually higher than what it cost us for this building, it was like 2.9 in construction.
Yeah, that's actually the contractor's bid bond,
Okay.
so that's his bid.
Wow, okay.
So, and then the 9,500 is for the 5-year extension.
Right, that's a.
Right, that was, yeah, that's understandable, that makes sense. I think that's a good option, if I want the warranty.
It's cheap insurance.
Yeah, exactly, right, no, I agree with that. Okay. So looking at this, where's the? So the NIPA project management and administration, that's
That's a fixed fee.
fixed, regardless of,
Correct.
okay. And then the design and construction management is again another 48,000, so that's the engineering plans and,
And the project management moving out. So we did all the bid work, we got all the bids, we did all of that, and then moving into construction, we do all the project management, make sure you're covered from a insurance perspective and
okay,
all the.
So you had somebody on site?
We have some.
For the whole
I work
project?
on site, yeah.
okay. So then, so what's the project management then for NIPA though? 'Cause that's 46,721.
That's our own cost of doing business. I mean,
Okay. No, the only reason I ask is, isn't this a state program, or, like, isn't it New York State Park? I mean,
It's a power authority, yeah, it's a service that we offer, it's not
okay,
a grant program or anything like that.
okay. No, I'm just wondering, because they're doing the construction management.
Right, it's,
Okay.
Yep, they manage it into the state, we manage it into the ground.
All right. So at this point, then, it doesn't look, so what are the real savings then? By going with the extra money, before we had a good cost savings, I think it was like $8,000-9,000 a year, correct?
it's still in there. So you're looking at about 8,600 annual savings on the electric side. And then an additional, we estimated about 10,000 in maintenance, given the state of the system, the current system.
Okay,
You know, parts are breaking, it's a little bit of a challenge to keep it running, given the age and vintage. So you're looking at about 18,000 a year in terms of cost savings.
okay.
And that's very, very important. That's one of the reasons we're doing this
Exactly, yeah,
project.
that's the
Is
reason.
there any guarantee on the savings?
I don't believe they guarantee the savings.
So would you say that estimate is high, low, dead nuts?
I would say it's accurate now, and I'd say it would get higher if you were to keep the old system and continue to try and operate year after
Well, yeah,
year.
that's a given. But we put the new system in, and we're gonna have energy savings to the tune of $18,000.
Energy savings to $8,000, your maintenance based upon what we were able to calculate should be around 10
At today's rates.
at today's rates.
So it looks, board, is the new price came in, if we take out the interest during construction, which we could, because again, we have the money already, and we take out the 29,000 contingencies, hopefully, we have a smooth transaction, we're looking at a $41,000 increase from the 350 bond that we took out.
$41,000 increase.
Increase to the 350 bond, so we have the 350 bond ready for this project. So it's an additional $41,000.
Is your fee negotiable?
No.
And that's based on the cost of the overall project, or
It's
that's
based on the construction costs.
based on the construction cost?
But your construction costs figured all those things you just took out.
Construction cost figures in, construction cost, asbestos abatement, payment of performance bonds, and then we added one for the warranty.
Oh, so your fee's on top of the performance bonds too? That's it,
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, wouldn't it just be on the actual, whatever you get for the actual construction bid?
Okay, maybe I was, maybe I'm wrong.
That's the construction.
So it's on 279?
Plus the 1 to 5 year warranty,
Right.
so that'd be 9,500.
We're paying on the warranty?
Well, that's part of the project cost, right? That gets billed at the same
Yeah,
time.
but if we bought that after the fact, it wouldn't be in the... No, I'm really trying to make the numbers.
It's an
Yeah, we're trying to
Yeah,
get
you
one.
don't have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't have to do it.
It's an ad alternate. so
Well, I'm not
it's-
saying we don't need the warranty, but why would we pay?
Why would we pay a fee on top of the warranty?
Valid question.
I mean, you guys are administering the warranty, are you?
No.
So really your fee's on the 279 then? I mean, what's the percentage on the 279? Are these numbers accurate?
It's,
12.5%.
yep, 12.5 and 16.
And that's a fixed amount based on the cost of the project,
Yeah.
construction.
Oh, we just dropped the cost of
That's
construction.
that's what I'm saying, right?
So what is it? What is the total fee?
The total fee for, NIPA's total fee,
Well, your percentage of construction.
12.5%.
All right, and then what's the design and,
15.
15%.
so 27.5%? So it's 27.5% fee? Oh, okay. So it's about 76,000. 279. 365.
What did you have for total project cost on your sheet?
Well, the last sheet you gave me was 279.
Okay. Well, no, that first block, all the way down where it says total project cost at the bottom,
437, 317.
that's slightly different than what I have here. So we've gone through to do the customer implementation, or customer installation commitment, revise some of these numbers a little bit. So right now I'm at $432,864.91.
So it's 432.
Yep, 432,864.91.
Okay.
I think some of that might have come from
So it's
adjustments.
so we're gonna come up with 36,000. But did you update the new numbers for your percentages though? Because I'm still coming out with a lower number.
It was a different percentage, a different.
Yeah, I did the numbers, I'm only coming out
You
with.
added the percentage together and the total, which would be really good.
No, I calculated them separately.
Okay.
I calculate 279 times 12.5 and 279, well, it's the same, it's 15, because it's on the total project, the construction cost. And the only reason I'm going through this, because I want to get a real number, so if we make a thing, because this is changed, like, it's changed multiple times, and I just don't want it to.
It does through the process, but after this, it won't.
Okay, but we gotta know a real number tonight,
Right.
because if we move ahead, we can't go on another.
And I think we need something in writing tonight. Right now, it's kind of up in the air.
Well, I think it's always up in the air, that's the problem that we had.
Yeah, because we're taking some things out and.
Yeah, I understand that, but.
Well, I wanna see exactly what we need first, because if I do 12.5% of 279, it's 34,875, this says 48,753. So,
Hey, Paul,
yep,
sorry, just realized, the contingency. You have to include the contingency with the construction costs. So the 279 plus the 29 is 29,547.5.
but if you don't use that, you back out your fee too then?
You backed it out of the.
I believe we would. I don't see why we wouldn't. We can't charge you a fee on something that you didn't pay.
Well, that's,
Well, right now you are.
Well, we-
I can't be the only supervisor that ever asks these questions in the whole state.
Right now you are doing it.
Yeah, I mean, so we included, I mean, the whole idea of putting this together is to kind of put all the eventualities in there.
Mhm.
So this is almost worst case scenario.
Right.
This is what it's gonna cost, right? I mean, assuming that contingency is not needed over 10%, which is very rare if ever happens. So yeah, as we get closer and the project gets built, we find out what we needed, what we didn't need, it, those things drop out, and then these.
But we've already paid based on that contingency. That goes into the figure, so we're paying on that, yes.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm not, so.
But you're not charged our fee until the end when we true everything up.
Right.
You don't pay us up front. You don't pay our fee up front.
Right, but
Once everything's
if you
done.
just take the 279 construction, just put that in perspective. So if you take the 279,
Yep.
the design and construction management fee is 34,875. This shows $48,000.
That's correct, because that includes the contingency, includes the 9,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we could buy the 9,500. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to put stuff, I don't want to pay on more than we have to, because we went through this with this building. We saved 800,000 after we were all said and done. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's-
gotcha.
I agree.
And as Matt said, you will not pay on that contingency if you don't use it.
Okay, and then we won't pay on the warranty if we buy the warranty through the company direct. Because isn't it
No, it's
train or
not.
carrier?
It's an ad alternate, and actually Davis is the one offering the warranty.
Okay, so we bought the warranty direct from him.
Yeah, if you can, I'm not,
Then we-
you can,
Okay, all right, but that's okay though. I don't want to get in the contract and say, no, we gotta pay us. 'Cause
I don't-
we told you about it.
It's an alternate in their bid. I don't see why you would have to do it.
It's an ad alternate. so
Okay.
you can choose.
Yeah, you
All right.
don't have to do that.
Right, but we can still do it after the fact.
I
So
don't see why, I don't see
You
why.
you can choose not to do it through us and then negotiate with Davis if you would like. Absolutely.
Okay,
But you don't know what rate you're gonna get if
Right.
you negotiate directly.
Yeah,
The
here's the
rate
goal.
they got.
You know, if you do it separately, it's an unknown, but you might get a better deal. I would assume you probably get something in the same ballpark,
It's gonna be very simple.
but you won't have a percentage on top of that.
right.
So,
Well, that's what we did, a lot of equipment we bought, and we didn't have to pay a 15% on it, you know, so.
Right.
Yep.
So taking that into consideration, then we're about $34,000 more than what we have for the bond. If, again, there's no contingency, which it's on a flat, there's no drainage issues or anything, it's gonna go on a pad that's outside, so. And they said they would move the dehumidifier?
Yeah, I don't believe the outside. I don't think there's space outside to move that equipment. I believe the equipment.
Well, they said they were gonna put, when we spoke in our meeting, they said they were gonna put it, they have like a elevated piece like they do inside, and it was gonna go over the actual machine up top. So
I'll confirm that with.
Yeah.
Okay. it's a secondary mounting bracket that was there, and it would be mounted on top, and it would be piped in through the side of the building.
Did you talk about that with Davis or your engineers?
No, not our engineers, when you guys came down for the site survey, the
Okay,
first
very
one.
good. Yeah, I spoke with Davis directly.
Okay.
And he said he was able to do it within his base price.
Okay, all right.
If that's what you guys spoke about, I'm sure that's what he's.
Yeah, it was just taking the actual, because right now it's mounted up off the ground.
Right.
So that same unit would just go outside and the pipes would just be re-ran inside. So it would save that space. So again, we could do construction for, staircases and
Right.
extending that area there. Because right now,
It's pretty.
people can't walk there, 'cause
Right.
it makes it hard to get to the locker rooms,
Right.
so. Okay. Does anybody else got any more questions? No? What's your opinion? What do you guys want to?
What's the number now that we're talking about?
Well, we're talking a $36,000 increase if there's no contingencies, and we pay up front, and there's no $16,000 in interest costs, which we have the money already that we're paying interest on, so we shouldn't pay twice.
And we know this project, it's in dire need.
Oh, 100%, I mean, that's not even a question. I mean, that thing's a dinosaur, and last year we put, what,
Yeah.
over 10 grand into it.
Every year we put.
Exactly, doing the project, that's not the question, it's,
Where we're at the $51,000.
yeah.
Have you identified where the funds are?
Well, I mean, again, it's an asset, it's a project. They're willing to finance it.
We can finance the remainder,
They could finance the remainder, but I think their interest rate was
4%.
4%.
Or
Why
really,
don't we do-
estimate.
Finance at 36,000, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just saying, these are the options. So it's finance that, you can ban for it, you can take it out of fund balance, you can put it in next year's budget. I mean,
If we're gonna do it, I'd rather see it come out of fund balance.
Okay, so how about next year's budget?
There's another idea.
It's not gonna get done until around that time.
Exactly, yeah, I mean, it's not gonna,
Well, yeah, we're looking at the middle of October, or beginning of October for completion date, because they don't have to do the project.
right, but we could borrow it and pay back. We have to. But there'll be money in there I put for equipment last year, we're not gonna buy equipment with parks.
Right.
Correct. So that money will actually offset it. In fact, I put in money for the chiller making the payment through you guys this year, so it'll offset that anyway. So if we do that, we can pay that back, so. Good.
I'll move it.
Let me just ask you, we did a bond resolution which was subject to permissive referendum. Did we bid this, or is this exempt because we're buying it through the power authority?
They do all the bidding.
They did it?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
perfect.
we're doing.
I just want to make sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Dave, second by Rich, discussion. And just to clarify, that's to put the additional $34,000 from, to pay for the machine, to go with the new price.
Yeah, we're removing that, right?
Ah.
The warranty, the
we're still gonna buy the warranty. I mean, if you could ask for, listen, if you could put it in and not charge us the up fee, I mean, that would be making much easier. I mean, again, it's not anything that's gonna take people's time out of their day. I mean, if you could do us the favor, that'd be great. If you can't, just put us in contact and see if we could do it, but, you know, I hate to pay, you know, another $1,000 on it if we don't have to. I mean, you know, again, it's for the town, so.
Right. So regarding the project, it sounds like you guys are okay with moving forward with everything.
Yeah, we're gonna move forward, and again, let's just watch the contingency. I mean, you
Oh,
know,
absolutely, yeah.
you know, again, I don't see any
I don't know.
unforeseen things, because we already have the concrete pad. It's not like we're gonna rip it up. So
Right, no, I think
it's there now, I mean.
No, we are taking it out, because the air chiller's bigger than the existing footprint.
So you're gonna take the whole thing
We're
out?
gonna take the pad out, put a new one in, yep.
Okay.
Because it's just the air chiller's bigger.
And that's included in there, the concrete and
It's
everything?
all part of it.
Okay, all right.
So regarding the project schedule, in order to meet the deadline, so that you can have ice this year with the new chiller system, we need to basically get boots on the ground to start construction right away.
Well, the board approved it, so we're ready to go. Whatever help you need from me, I'll help you.
So just to explain the process a little bit further. So the next step in the process is to do an internal review of basically this document, the customer installation commitment, basically it's for you to sign off and say, yes, we're gonna do the project. So that is in review, or well, I'm trying to get it to review internally at night right now. In order to do that, I need the completed public-private use form that basically says that, you know, you're an eligible customer of the power authority. We have authority to work with you. I have a copy of that here. If you could sign that today, and I can bring it back.
If you have Herb review it, Herb could review it, he's our town attorney.
Sure.
Then after that, I'd sign it after he gives us the approval for that.
Okay. This is a pretty straightforward project. You know, we do it for every project. And on top of that, so given the urgency, internal level review is gonna take some time, and it's also gonna take some time for you guys to review this document. Once we send it to you, then sign it and send it back to us. We're running really short on time to get this project built this year. So as an alternate to that, there's a letter here that basically says, yeah, we're committed to moving forward with the project and all that. You can sign this. We will still provide the installation commitment document for you to review and sign, you know, as we get it ready, once it's ready.
Okay.
Probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, I would say, you'll have that for signature, probably 2. But these 2 documents, if I could, you know, if you want to move forward, I need these.
Okay, yeah, just have Herb review it.
Right now, or?
Yeah, he could review it during the meeting, and if you guys don't mind, when he's ready, then I can
Any
sign it.
questions or whatever, just grab it.
All right, everybody good? Okay, all right, great, thank you. All right, we have minutes from June 17, 2019 from our special meeting. Was everybody able to review them? So, we have a motion?
Move.
Motion by Rich? Second by Rich. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. June 12, 2019 minutes. Everybody review them? So, the motion? Second. Motion by Rich, second by Rich. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, public hearing. We have a local law introductory K 2018 for zoning fees. Have a motion to open, motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, public hearing is open.
These are the solar fees. Joe, what's that flood fee of 100?
It's just, it's already in place, it's moving over into another category.
Oh, okay.
The fee, the main fee is the renovation fee for building projects.
Okay, anybody here for that? No? Okay, get a motion to close the public hearing. Motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. You guys like to act on it?
Make a motion, we accept the local law.
I'll second.
Motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion?
Introductory.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're gonna open up presentation and comments. We have Alan Hammond. Sorry.
Alan Handelman.
Yep. How you doing, sir?
Good.
Alan's here tonight because he just wants to do a brief demonstration on a housing project on Woods Road. He will go for a PU overlay in the future if the board's interested in doing so. He'd like to discuss the project with the board.
My name is Alan Handelman, I'm Vice President of Conifer Realty. This is Michael Bershby, Senior Project Director at Conifer. I'm here to introduce myself, to introduce Conifer, just talk about the site and talk about our proposal. Conifer is a 40-year-old company based in Rochester, New York. We operate in 4 states. What we develop, we build. What we own, what we build, we own, and what we own, we manage. Our core business is affordable housing, and we own about 15,000 units in 223 communities, and more than half of that is within New York State. The site that we're talking about is located on Woods Road, adjacent to Seneca Turnpike. We were introduced to the site by one of the owners who lives in Farmington, which is a suburban community in Rochester, New York. And as we're building a community there, and he thought highly of that and suggested this site to us. The site's approximately 48 acres. Our proposal is to develop the northern half of it as a residential development of no more than 72 units. In order to do that, it's zoned, I believe it's zone C1. In order to do that, we need to establish a planned residential development district overlay at that location. This requires town board approval. And as part of the town board approval, we need to submit basically a fully engineered site plan, and before we commit that type of financial resources as well as staff time, we wanted to introduce ourselves in the project to the board. This is the site. What we're proposing, you show the next one. We're proposing a mixture of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments in 8-plex buildings. And that's roughly on the northern half of the site. At this point, we have no plans for the southern portion that has frontage along the Seneca Turnpike, and that zoning would remain intact. There are 8-plex buildings, and we should show samples of the buildings, where each of the units have balconies. All the units have separate entrances, so there's no common corridors. They're well-designed, energy efficient. Additionally, we have a community building, which would have an office, maintenance shop, a fitness room, a community room, and laundry. This is a unit type that we've been building for about 20 years. We've built 23 of these communities, and this one represents about 1,000 units. So as such, over a period of time, it's been refined both in terms of design, energy efficiency, modernizing certain aspects. The site would have a playground, trails, and a vegetative buffer along Woods Road. What we do is, our core business is affordable housing. This would be affordable to households earning about 60% of the area median income. Some might be at higher levels with rents roughly between $700 and $1,000 a month for new units. And we're interested, we like the community. I have some self-interest. I'd like to be here more often because you can't get good greens in Rochester. Happy to answer any questions or answer questions going forward.
What was the rent again?
The rents, a lot of this has not been fully established, but the rents would be roughly 700 and 1,000, 700, 650 for 1 bedrooms. The 3-bedroom units would probably be closer to 1,000, 900 to 1,000. We haven't fully established that, but that's sort of the range.
For the overlay, you're required to have some unique aspects, and I guess you're talking about walking trails, recreation area, playground area.
That and high quality design and
Where would those be located?
The trails?
Yeah.
Well, in your package, there's site plans. So they would be generally around the perimeter of the site where the apartments are. And then they would go, it's sort of like a flag lot that goes up to the northwest. There's wetlands in the far western corner, so there'd be some trails in through there. There'd be also green, open space with a playground and things like that.
And that's why you're here. Joe, would you just elaborate on what Herb started? Why is it here at this board rather than the planning board?
Because they're actually seeking a PD residential overlay. And the town board has the authority over that.
And that overlay requires the things that he just detailed, plus.
Some unique features.
Unique features, and that he's not usually offered in other residential settings. Also, being that it's a C1 area, he gets to keep the underlying uses of the C1 area if he would like, and do commercial uses too, if he so elects.
And is that in?
That's not contemplated. What we're looking is at this point is the northern portion and building a residential development.
No in-house restaurant or
No.
anything such as that? Common areas for card games, pool room?
Yeah, there's common areas for that, as well as a fitness room in the community building. There'd be a playground immediately adjacent to that. I think that the quality of design and affordability is one of the key things that makes this unique.
And it's geared toward family uses? How large are the units? Two bedrooms, three bedrooms?
Units are 1s, 2s, and 3s. At this point, again, we're at very much a concept stage. I believe at this point we're looking at about 16 one-bedrooms, 16 three-bedrooms, and 16 to 24 three-bedroom units and 32 two-bedroom units. Unit sizes are roughly, one bedrooms are roughly 750, the two bedrooms are 950, the three bedrooms are about 1,100 square feet.
Any kind of traffic information or studies that you've done
The-
along Seneca Turnpike or?
We have not done that. That's certainly part of what we would be applying for, and that would be something that would be required from our lenders as well.
And of the 72 units, approximately how many residents would you think would be occupying that mixture?
The rule of thumb is, and what we work with is 1.5 persons per bedroom as an average. So you look at one bedroom unit would have 1.5 per people. That's sort of roughly where it averages out.
Yeah, on Seneca Turnpike, it's around 78,000 cars a day. Where he's proposing his size on Woods Road is less than 1,000 cars a day. There's really no traffic there. There is the entrance from the 840 ramp that the town put in many years ago. And also this is over by where the hotels are. You guys are familiar where?
Actually, it's about it's not on the corner of Woods Road and Route 5. It's probably maybe a quarter mile down Woods Road on the left.
That's correct. Basically, it lines up with Ariana Lane.
Right.
So that would be that's where the entrance would be. What we find is that this type of product and community is really geared for people, for households that are at the beginning and end of their economic life cycle. We find that we've got a high percentage of seniors living in this, as well as young families, who are, gives people the opportunity to get a start in a high quality built community that's properly managed, as well as for seniors that may be leaving their home or looking to, and seniors don't always want to be in a community that is just seniors. They want to have kids around, and that's one of the things that we found.
Where's the nearest conifer project?
The nearest conifer projects that we have are in Syracuse. We've got a number of projects that are some of the historic rehabs downtown. We have In the brochures, we have a project near Saratoga Springs and Clifton Park.
Okay, Saratoga Springs and Clifton Park, are they the same rental area, same dollar amount?
It's, the dollar amounts are pegged towards what the area median income is. So Saratoga Springs is a higher rent district, so the rents tend to be higher.
Any questions, Rich, in your district?
Well, I think the traffic is the big thing, but I don't think that's gonna be addressed tonight.
Yeah, there's nobody on that road. I mean, there's no cars.
This still goes to the planning.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my understanding is that we need to put together what is basically a fully engineered site plan. The cost of that is probably $20,000 to $30,000. So reluctant to do that
Without a nodding approval.
without a nodding approval, and I recognize at this point it can't be formal.
But I mean, if somebody had some major issues with it, he wouldn't go ahead and take the time, because again, the fee's $5,000 to the town also for him to come in front of us for the plan. So again, I just wanted to bring it up and make sure everybody kind of at least knew the project. If you had any major concerns, then, you know, it's something that you can take a look at. Or, you know. So anybody have anything that?
Yeah, what we find is that the traffic impact of this type of residential development is significantly less than what you'd find from a commercial development, both in terms of peaks and usage.
Well, there's actually 4 ways out of this project.
Yeah.
It's the whole road
Yeah.
is built.
You don't always come out on the second driveway.
Would you be looking to extend the public road? I notice it's lined up with Ariana. Is that going to be a town-maintained road?
Again, some of this would be collaboratively decided, you know, with the town. I understand that this site is subject to Seneca Turnpike mitigation fees, and if the town were interested in having it be a public road, it's something that we would consider. We'd have to identify what the costs are, what the project can bear. It's not something we're adverse to, but we clearly wanted to have it lined up with Ariana, because it doesn't make sense to have that type of traffic offset. And, at this point, there's no other entrances to the site. There's, potentially an emergency access north on Woods Road, but I think we wanted to maintain traffic flow through that intersection.
I would suggest we give them approval to proceed.
Can I, Rick, any stormwater issues up there? He said something about wetland at some part.
There is some wetlands and those paper roads up behind there, going up Second
By
Avenue.
Concord and all that?
Yeah.
It's in the top corner.
It actually backs up.
Yeah. But you don't see any,
And also this, again, you'd have sidewalks probably on Woods Road, I'm sure.
We have sidewalks out to
Okay.
Woods Road.
Because as you know, Middle Settlement Road, the county's putting the sidewalks in there.
Well, also the business park, we require sidewalks in there.
Yeah,
This
correct.
would be adjacent to that.
Right. That would connect into the trails, and there's some grant money for more sidewalks if we did that up Seneca Turnpike also.
Right.
Making all that connect would probably be a nice thing to do, especially if you have a lot of seniors in the area. And, I know Middle Settlement's gonna help the seniors there walk to, facilities here. And so, but, I don't think we can give them a formal vote because we didn't pay this fee yet, but if anybody has anything that negatively impacts it,
I would suggest that we give them a nodding approval to proceed.
Okay.
Great, I appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
so then you would see Joe Booth and put your application in.
Yeah,
And if you want me to calculate mitigation fees, I can do that for you also before you start.
yeah, that'd be helpful.
Okay.
We'll be in touch with town staff and Joe and
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you
so
Thank
much.
you for your time. Okay, anyone from the public, ready to discuss any matters tonight? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I don't have really anything to discuss. I was shopping and I'm tired of fighting. And my advice is I'll to so I just wanted to do
Oh, great, thank you.
Michelle.
What number driver?
Wow.
I'm 30.
Oh,
Hi.
nice to meet you. I'm the one who keeps riding the bike around the neighborhood.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah.
To discuss any matters? Yes, sir.
Let me throw a harpoon.
Sorry?
I said, let me throw a harpoon.
Sure.
I noticed there are no financial reports since May up on the website,
Okay.
and you guys have approved 6 or 7 meetings worth of minutes, and the minutes up on the website haven't changed in the past 6 months.
Okay. You had any minutes?
Have they been posted? He's saying they haven't been posted.
Yeah, I mean, you got, I think, it's probably close to
2 or
7.
3 were posted today.
Yeah, they posted it today.
I didn't look today. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the financials, they should be there today, if not tomorrow morning.
Okay, so they're back about 3
And
months.
they're done, I've had them done, I don't know, so, but, we'll take a look at it.
Got 2 tabs on you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, thanks.
Yes, sir. Yes, 239 Oxford Road. I see that, we got markers in the line. I don't know if there's anything about the partake with that, Rich.
The county is UFPO that, we doing the ditching if they haven't already started. Wyndham, Roman, down Oxford Road. And we've called our UFPO in, and then if things go as planned, rest of this week, if we don't get any more thunderstorms and more rain, we should be there Monday, Tuesday next week.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
You did answer my question about Woods Road and the facility that they're planning on building up there.
Oh, okay.
Because I drove by there. Now, the building that's already there, is that what he's referring to?
Well, there's, where he wants to build is right across from the power lines. It's right across the street from the power lines on Wood Road. I don't know if you know where the transfer station is. It's right across the street.
Or across from the new power authority building.
I went up Woods Road.
Yep.
And I took, what's that street that is, Ariana?
Ariana.
Up there, the building on the
That's the
left-hand.
power.
That's the power authority.
It's not where it's going.
Pardon?
It's not where it's going. It's going across the street. If you go up, don't take the right on Ariana. Take a
Oh, I did.
left,
Oh, I took the right.
and you'll be in the field where
There
that's
is no
planned.
left.
There is no left. That's where the road's gonna be.
Don't take the left. There is no road.
No, that's what I'm saying. Take that left, and you're gonna be in the field.
Right at the road, took that left.
Yeah, it's, you know where, there's a pyramid real estate sign that's there? It's right there, that's where the proposed lot.
See the sign, but they have a beautiful, it's not cement, it looks like a marble type wall with, wrought iron fencing.
Oh, no,
behind
that's the
it.
power authority. You went too far.
Yeah, you
This-
went too far.
When you go up Woods Road,
Don't turn.
you're on your left side, there's a pyramid sign there, it's, I think, right, it's pyramid?
We'll drive
There's a
down.
pyramid sign there, and that's where the location is.
But that's a beautiful building up there.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no signage of who's there. And I just-
They don't want any sign.
No.
It's high security.
Yeah, it's a high
Well,
security.
that's what it looked
Even
like.
the
It is.
police chief can't get in there.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, he's shaking his head.
Drive right by.
Okay, so am I supposed to leave these flags up on the lawn? There is
Yes.
some, leave them up?
Yes, leave there where we start.
Yep.
Nice tell us where the utilities are.
Okay, and I do have one question, and I know the county was there, because I was there in the morning, and Mary had stopped over with, I don't know Benny's last name, he lives down, he drives bus. But, the three of us were talking, and they did a very good job in ditching, because I'm familiar with ditching. I've done that.
Right.
Which you know.
Right.
But I can't understand the cement pipe that's under the road. I George about the big tree
Right.
stump that went through. How can they pick that up with a bucket and move it? It's cement. Does that mean that it's broke underneath the road or the connection that goes under the road to that clean out on our side of the road? They moved it probably this much, instead of coming out straight. If you're standing there looking at it, it's coming out straight, and they moved it this way. But how can you move a cement pipe without breaking it? That's what I don't understand.
You really can't.
Well, there was two people there that witnessed that. And the two people I mentioned.
Concrete pipes are made to go into a bell. One end goes into the bell of the other,
Mhm.
and they go together that way.
Yeah.
If you take and turn it, it's making that joint come away from the other pipe.
So what happens to that under the road?
That's an account.
Okay, they
Their
have,
road, their
they have that, that's their road. So should I talk to Dennis?
Ask Dennis, to come
I
out there and
think
meet him. He was out there a couple weeks ago.
I didn't see Dennis, but
Yeah.
I think Carl was up there.
Yeah, Carl was up there.
running the machinery.
Yes.
And to the best of my ability,
That's a good question, ask Dennis.
okay, through my experience. And there's no water now running into that pipe, but the clean out has got water running, I don't know where it's coming from. And it's running at a good flow. I mean, it's going down the pipes that are there and coming out onto the, you know, what our problem is.
Right, right.
Which, that one sinkhole is about this big around, I think I could actually fit in it.
Like I said, we should be there Monday or Tuesday, hopefully no more rain or thunderstorms.
But where do you think that water's coming from that's coming through that cleanout there?
Could be, I still stay up Roman Road, Twindon Road, up that area.
Yep, there's no water coming down that ditch into that
Maybe a
cement
spring.
pipe. Under, or surface water maybe?
Mhm.
That was my question, that's why I'm here.
Sure, sure.
And, but I did answer my question on a few things, so.
Okay. Yeah, anything else? Anyone? No?
Just want to thank you for your
Yeah,
time,
no,
sir.
thank you.
It's very big.
Yeah.
And thank you for not getting us out.
Oh, never, listen, I like when people come to the meetings.
Have a good night.
You
Take
too,
care.
you guys.
Thanks, Rick.
Yep.
Okay, anybody else, comments, questions? No? Okay. All right, Assessors Committee, Jonathan Purdy. His term expires 9/30/19. Would you like to put this on the website?
It's been posted.
Okay, so it is up there, okay. Okay. All right, next one, Zoning and Planning Committee, Karen, Zoning Board, term expires 6/9/19, application submitted. She also sent the letter, she would still like to stay on the board.
She was the only applicant, wasn't she, Brian?
No, there was the nice lady stopped today,
Humanians.
and is also.
Two people, man.
Yep, we got two people, one who's currently on the board, and one's new to the board that had her resume sent to everybody.
I think they're both very good candidates.
Make a motion for.
Well, again, they're both good candidates. One of them is a current board member. The other, Mrs. Mandia, I think she just left. Oh. Is a new resident within the last year, became a resident, is it?
She's put in her app before, it's been, I think, for the last time someone was up too. So she's, yeah,
input for the last time, so she definitely wants to be part of it.
Would you like me to leave the room? Would that be more comfortable for you? I have no problem.
No, I think it's fine, it's, you know, they're reading over the resumes, and if you want, we can even come back to it, if you guys wanna make a decision. Just, we're missing a board member tonight too, somebody's gotta make a motion, I can't.
You wanna wait till he's here?
Sure. I have no problem with that, it's fine with me.
We're not losing anything.
No, we're not losing anything.
No, she stays on until another appointment's made, so probably a good idea to wait until you have a full board.
Appreciate it, appreciate your interest, certainly.
Table.
Okay, thank you, we're gonna table it to the next meeting till Jim's here, and then one of the board members will make a motion. So.
I don't think I'm skipping out, it's today's my birthday, and everybody's waiting for cake.
Oh, happy
So-
birthday.
I just wanted to introduce myself.
What
Thank
time
you
is
very
the
much.
cake?
You can come right over after the meeting.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Thanks.
Oh, it looks like we're going
My neighbor.
to your house.
I couldn't hear. Okay, so we'll do that next,
Herb's got the ice cream.
August 14th? Okay, so we'll make that choice, August 14th. Okay. Finance Director, we have vouchers, we got audits, payment of vouchers. Did everybody take a look at the vouchers? Any questions, concerns?
I'll move it.
Motion, what, David?
I just, there's a voucher in there for the Shenango Ave Bridge. Wire. That's not our voucher, am I correct? I mean, how is that being paid?
It's being paid through grant. We have to pay it, and then I submit a canceled check that we paid it,
Okay.
and I get grant money
Okay, so we
reimbursed.
get reimbursed for that, but we've got some upfront costs.
Yes.
Okay, that's all. Thank
It runs like the Parks grant that we had.
you. Right.
Okay. Any other questions on the vouchers?
I got a motion.
Motion by Rich,
Second.
second by Rich. Discussion. I have one thing. We have a $1,000 payment to New York Mills for the senior. We promised them that money. I don't know if it got in there. Do you know if Lisa put it in there? But
She put it in, but I don't think you approved it.
okay, so I'd like to approve these with that $1,000 invoice to New York Mills for the seniors. If that's okay with everybody. Because she didn't get it to me till this afternoon, and I wasn't able to approve it, so.
I'll make a formal motion with $1,000.
Okay, can you second it? Okay. Second by Rich, discussion, all in favor? Aye. Okay, so we'll add the $1,000 invoice to New York Mills for reimbursement for the seniors. Okay, budget adjustments. Dan has a few budget adjustments to go over.
Yes, I have 3 budget adjustments, all in the general whole town. The first one is for the transfer of the unused firework funds to a contractual, parks contractual account. So we would decrease A 7110.44 for $7,500 and increase A 7110.04 for the same amount.
Motion by Rich,
Second.
second by Rich, discussion, all in favor? Aye.
The second one is for, to transfer the remaining funds of the parks maintenance worker that retired this year. That's $21,139 to be taken out of A 7110.15 and going into parks seasonal, which is A 7110.14.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Dave, discussion. Second by Rich, discussion. All in favor? Aye.
And then the last one is for a donation that was received from CDPHP for the senior center, in the amount of $1,500. And they wish that to go into the contractual account, so we'll increase the expense A 622.4 2705.1 for $1,500.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Rich, second by Rich. Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
And that's it, everybody.
That's it? Okay, great. All right, annual Justice Court Review. Dan worked on this. Any questions? It was emailed out to everybody.
Yeah, it's a standard report, required to do every year. I looked at the same areas, found no issues with any of the court justice files, so I'm just looking to add that report approved for the friends.
So moved.
Motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, fund balance policy. We had our audit this year. Also, when we were bonding, our bond counsel and our auditors said it would be a good thing to actually have a fund balance policy. They gave us some recommendations, some information. Dan compiled that with myself. We reviewed it and we sent it out to everyone for review. If you guys agree with it or have any questions. Did you guys see the?
Yes.
Okay. Any feedback, anything you think that would?
And it's something our auditors really strongly recommend, that, that before, I think if the state was to come in, where our fund balance is in our general fund, we might have to take issue with it possibly. And it's kind of just at least have a policy in place so we can start monitoring it.
Oh, this is for all the funds?
Just the general fund.
How about the police and the Parktown Highway?
They told us to do it for the general fund. We can extend that in another meeting and do those, but they said the general fund was the most important to do. Our bond counsel also told us the same thing, so we did it for general fund only. But again, I mean, if you guys want, we could critique them for our other funds. But again, we've only got recommendations to do our general fund, at least right now, to get that, set.
Well, obviously, I'm concerned with the special district with size that you've got 3 or 4 years of funding in the fund balance in the sewer district.
Yeah, so the sewer district is next. I mean, we're gonna work on that. Again, that's another one we're gonna do, but he told us now at least to do the general fund balance.
And it would be the
first.
same template.
It'd be the same correct.
Similar.
It'd be yeah,
Wow.
but this was the one that was stressed to have this done, that it was a recommendation to do it and that we should have had it done. And then we'll work on the other ones and see what it is. The only thing with the sewer was, he said for that one is to see if there's any capital projects we want to work on first before we make any determinations on it. Because money might go to a capital project. So he said to make sure that we don't have any major capital projects or anything like that in, the near future. That, again, if we made some kind of restrictions on it, that we would be able to maybe use it for that. So he said just to take a look at that first. So the general fund was their main concern, both bond counsel and our auditors, and that's the one we did. And then I think we should look at each other one individually. Definitely sewer, but he said first, before you do anything with sewer, just to make sure that, with Rick at the time, we wanted to meet with him and discuss, again, any capital projects that he's gonna see in the next 2 to 3 years, and maybe earmark some of the money for that too, and actually put that in our, in our statement. So, again, we didn't get there yet, but we're at the general fund level. So this is just for the general fund. That's all this is for.
Is this going to be available to the public to see what the
Oh,
criteria
of
is?
course. Yeah, all this stuff. For
Can you
sure.
just briefly discuss what the criteria is?
Sure. You have it in front. You want to just give a basic?
Basically, it is to maintain a minimum unassigned fund balance level of 15 to 25% of the current operating expenditures. If it falls below the minimum amount, management would prepare and propose a plan for consideration to the town board to replenish the minimum fund balance within the 2 succeeding years.
So that's just for the general fund, nothing else?
Correct.
Okay. Reasonable.
And those are the state guidelines.
Yeah, the controller's got an awful lot of stuff out there on
Right,
this.
that's based on their guidance.
Yeah.
Actually, Dave's got a copy for you.
No, that's a reasonable number.
Yeah, well, that, again, that's what, after compiling from our bond council, our auditors, the state, we spoke with everyone, those are the numbers they said that would be conservative to use, and actually the form that we have, again, was compiled from other towns and municipalities that were rated, A+ in, bonding, so, again, we did our homework on it, and this is what the determination we came up with. And the auditors took a look at it too, and liked what it was.
It's a good start.
Yeah, so it just keeps us kind of getting on the right track. And again, sewer is definitely the main one we want to do, because I think we're like 300% over what we should have.
Yeah.
So, which is not a bad thing, but it is for having that much in there. But again, we want to look at capital projects, we want to sit down with Rick and thoroughly go over it before we make any decisions. And if you look in the documentation, it says that we can use it to pay down debt. That was one of my concerns. I didn't want to just, put in there that we could use it for anything. I wanted so we could pay down some debt with it, in the future, or use it for, capital projects, again, that are assets to the town.
Yeah, as long as it goes in the budget, you can do that.
Right. So that's where we're at with this, and again, if you have any questions or anything now to ask,
Make a motion that we accept that.
motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. All right, thank you. All right, tax surcharge reserve account transfer. So I guess we came up with a tax reserve account a few years ago. I guess that we weren't supposed to have a tax reserve account. So that money that's in there, we wanted to transfer that over to, again, pay down debt. And we wanted to transfer it to
Yeah, so back in early 2016, a reserve account was set up. I think, it's just a board designated fund to set aside some money for tax surcharges. And speaking with Herb and Paul, they feel that there's going to be any tax surcharge on the near horizon in the next couple of years. That money's still sitting there. It hasn't been used. There's $50,000. So we thought it would be best to unreserve it for tax surcharges and put it into an account to use for debt service. It's $50,000.
Oh, 50, okay.
Was that intended for like legal fees and expenses? Because Paul and I pretty much have been
Yeah.
working through most of them with no cost to the town.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think the town could do that. I thought only school districts could set a certiorari for, reserve for certiorari.
Correct.
I don't think towns can do it.
So what we want to do is put it, again, to pay down debt off the certiorari that we had, for our bonds and stuff, so we're just gonna put it right towards debt, to lower our debt.
You can't lower that debt until 27. You gotta make.
Right, or we could use it to payments and then lower
Yes.
taxes,
Yeah.
or again, do other capital projects. I mean, again, going towards stuff people can see and touch and, feel, so. We don't want to waste it, right, so we want to put it towards stuff that's viable. So we thought this would be the best way to do that, and then it's earmarked towards, again, paying down debt in the future, or again, if there's a capital project that comes up that we want to do, it could also go toward that, so.
And the school is in a very difficult situation financially, and what we've been trying to do is negotiate settlements on these tax surcharges without having to do the refund component, where the benefit, the reduction goes in the future so that everybody can budget for that. So that's what we've been trying to do, and as you know, a couple of these, we got some favorable settlements with no back payments. I also gave you one for the Kmart Plaza, which hopefully everybody's going to take a look at, and I don't know if you guys want to talk in executive session there, but the concept there is, again, that's only one. The other thing we've been doing, with the help of the court, is the problem in the past is you'd have 3 years. In other words, it'd be 16, 17, 18, and you'd settle it in 19, and you get hit with 3 years of refunds. And with the court's assistance, for example, on the Kmart, it's 1 year, it's 2018, and we've got a position where they're willing to at least give up half the refunds that they would get. So we're trying to stay on top of them and to minimize the refund component. And as I say, Paul has worked hand in hand with me on these. At worst, what we do is we don't get a full appraisal, because you remember on Sangertown, it was $100,000 for the appraisal. We don't do that. We get the same appraiser that we've used to look at whatever appraisal they have, and he critiques it, and that's helped us settle it. And for $5,000 or $6,000 as compared to $100,000, we've done pretty well.
And $50,000 is a drop in the bucket as far as going back, and so,
Yeah.
and if we can eliminate the legal
Refunds,
fees as
yeah.
much as we can.
Well, you are.
No, that's what I'm saying. So
You've eliminated them all.
$50,000
I hate to
sitting
say
there
it,
doing
but you
nothing
haven't.
is not a good thing,
Yeah.
so let's.
So, and also too, I want to say, Herb's been a great partner, and even go one step forward. We haven't even really been paying for appraisals, because we've been taking theirs and kind of knocking them down
Yeah.
to where they should be. So, and we haven't been paying any legal fees, and it's been working out pretty well. And again, it's really, it's taking the risk away from the school district with all the refunds. So again, it's really been working in a positive direction this way, because you know how court is, how many fees we paid years ago, going to court. So, I really want to, thank Herb and stuff. We've really been working hard on these, and they've been paying off, so.
Okay.
Was there a motion to transfer it back?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Rich,
Second.
second by Rich. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Okay. Liquor license, new application, for the patio.
That's a Thrive,
Thrive, is it?
yeah, the par,
Oh, okay.
you know,
Paul?
Yep.
I'm not aware of Thrive being a restaurant or
I'm not
anything
either,
like
so.
that. It's a physical fitness facility. I'd caution the board about approving something that might,
why don't we hold on that
Yeah.
until Joe and I can look at it?
please do.
Yep. Thank you, Joe, actually, because I never heard of it myself. All right, Public Works and Sewer, bid results from Shenango Bridge, Sequoia Creek. Rick?
We opened up the bids and we got 2 bids back. And I believe one was 262. And they're the ones, that's the company that did the bridge originally for the state. They did the work on the north side underneath. And then when the bridge went out, Iowa got the construction bid to rebuild the new bridge with the deck and new girders. And so they came back at 262. The other one was Central New York Construction, Hannah Construction out of Barnerville. Their lump sum was 257. But from what I've been told from the town clerk, that both of these have not
Defects,
been,
right?
they're defect.
Yeah, well,
Both of them.
effective.
So at this point, they've been rejected, both of the board
Yeah.
reject, and we go back to rebid again. They need to follow the instructions that were clearly marked.
They should know better, they're both big countries.
Exactly.
And it's not discretionary, I think you have to reject.
I move to reject it.
Motion by Dave to reject.
Second.
Second by Rich. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Do I have a motion to go out to rebid for Shenango Bridge, Sequoia Creek Bridge? Motion by Dave.
Second.
Second by Rich. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Anything else, Rick?
I can bring you up to date where we are. The paper comes back July 24th. Everything has been milled. We finished milling yesterday. So Clinton View has been milled, Avalon Road's been milled, Lloyd's Lane has been milled, Neil's Gulf has been milled, in Grange Hill, where Butler Road has been built. I took quite a bit of road, if you take a ride on Grange into Chadwick's, with the new construction of the pipe being put in the catch basins, I took 10 inches out of the center of the road that was there, because it was crowned so bad. I brought the road back down, and when we go to put it back, there'll be recycled binder with a hot top for a little bit of the way up before you hit the hill. Doing that, I could put blacktop curbs in, like I did on Paris and Jordan, to funnel the water on the side of the road into the catch basins. And the new crown is taking the water from, it comes down the hill from the left side of the road, and it's crowning it to the left, or to the right side. So that will be,
I think it's a good idea.
yeah. So, again, we start those roads the 24th. Once those are all done, I'm thinking probably around the 3rd week of August, we start the train work, which is a totally different process on Stone Hill. I'm getting with the supervisor, we got a couple things to look at this week up on Stone Hill. It gives us time to get that stuff done. We're digging ditches, cleaning ditches on Grange. We're in pretty good shape. Other than that,
Have you had an opportunity to do the pothole fixer-upper?
we have it. I have had a problem with DMV getting it registered, and I got an appointment down there tomorrow. It's a process of getting municipality plates. It's not like a truck or a pickup, it's a trailer, a little different. So I've got an appointment to go down there tomorrow to see them to get that straightened out. So that we'll get it legally on the road, and then when we have time, we're gonna get it out, get it working. We'll have a press conference with the town supervisor and myself, and we'll take the first shovels out of it and fill a hole and let them see how it works. It's a good asset to have.
You mentioned the curbing, and you mentioned Paris Road. I had it in my notes. That worked very well this year.
Yes.
Even the plows didn't.
Plows know it's there, they stay away from it.
Right, it was excellent. You also did an outstanding job of striping Paris Road, allowing for a pedestrian walkway.
Yes.
Is that going to be restored? I had a question on that.
It's been, the contract has been given to the county. The county's going to be striping.
That worked real well, I thought.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I want to add, Rick's been doing a great job, I mean, with everything, he's been getting it done. He's really, really been lucky so far, so with everything going on. But, just wanted to say that, so. Anyway, also too, want to say one thing on Snowden Hill Road. I don't know, Rick, should we say something about putting piping in now, or?
We should have the piping, we have it in inventory. I just want to make sure that that's the right thing to do.
Okay.
And that's why I want to go out there with you.
Okay.
And,
All right, perfect. Let's do it, okay. All right, anybody else? Anybody questions for Rick? No? Okay. How about Dan? Anybody? Dan, any questions?
No.
No? Okay. Kurt?
Yeah, I have just a couple little things. As you know, Special Metals is in the process of doing the remediation. Their permit expires August 1st, and the DEC wants us to confirm that we're aware and that we're in support of the remediation work that they're doing.
You just need a resolution.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion.
second.
Motion by Rich, second by Rich. I got an issue with that. Yeah, well, I have an issue. I don't want to give them back the permit yet.
Oh, okay.
Because here's the issue. So as you know, we got that grant for over $1 million on our land up on Middle Settlement Road. And again, me and Rick have been working on that real diligently because their remediation project is in our land up there. And if they don't remediate that properly, we're gonna hold the burden of contamination that we're gonna have to truck out of there in the future when we start our project. So our negotiation plan is to work with them, for them to dig that out, so we don't have to dig there, and to help us with the project and get it done at the same time, so we don't have to go back in after the fact and, again, take on the burden and the cost of the remediation And again, I don't want that to go to waste. I mean, Rich put many, many hours, myself, and we've been to many meetings that are very tiresome to be seen for 2-3 hours. And
We talked about the partnership so that we weren't duplicating the work.
exactly, yeah, and not only it's gonna be a cost savings so we can get the project done in budget, but it'll be something that, again, we're not gonna take on the burden of the decontamination of the nickel that's in the ground. So if you guys don't mind, if we can.
Do you want to withdraw your motion?
I
Yeah.
didn't make it.
I'll withdraw.
Okay. No motion. All right,
Right,
great.
thank you. And what I'll do is I'll give you guys information next meeting, and maybe they'll be on the same page as us, but
Just need to make sure.
we just gotta make sure that we're not holding the pot here with the contamination issue. So, all right, thank you.
Did we skip Dave?
Yeah, you did. I did this. Huh?
No, the only other.
No, we didn't skip, I just wanted him, because
Oh,
if
yeah,
he had
it is.
questions for Rick or anything.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought, okay.
No, it was good.
I did a couple things
Sure.
for Rick, the head wall on Woodbury. We have an update, maybe Herb's got more information.
We supplied additional information. In fact, Barb was very helpful last time we were here, and she sent some stuff to the state, and I haven't heard anything back from Colin there, and I'll give him a call.
We did get something back.
Oh, you did? I
We
didn't get
did.
it.
He wants a different drawing that we submitted, and he also wants an engineering report. And I don't know who to, I'm gonna talk to Paul about it, how we move forward with an engineering report.
Well, so I've seen the same information, but again, where's the cost come from? It's an $8,000 or $9,000 engineering
The
report.
engineer.
Right.
I already found out, so I don't wanna spend the $9,000 on moving the head wall onto there, and then if they say no, it's just, so it's catch-22. I mean, I don't know.
I don't see why it's gotta be engineered,
Exactly.
we're just moving the head wall where it is, same level, same everything.
And they know that.
Sure they do.
Yeah, he knows it.
Down 80 feet, a couple lengths of pipe. So it's
We're on the
on,
phone with him once a week.
so it's on the property that we own.
Maybe there's an appeal process where we can voice objection to him and to bear the cost of getting an engineered report. If you would send that to me, let me look at it, maybe I can put something
Okay.
together.
Excellent.
All right.
Can we do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And again, that was the basic $9,000, just, that
But
wasn't,
that doesn't move it, that's just to do the engineering.
oh, that's just to say if we can move it. And then if we say we can, then the actual, you're probably looking at another $20,000 for the design plan. I don't know,
Okay. So you're gonna
Yes.
appeal it if we can. And then the easement on Foxcroft, do you have an update on that?
I got an update, I've been working on that. We went up there last Friday to try, we have to go in and dig test sites, holes on that property to see what we have, and the crew met with some nasty neighbors. At the end of Foxcroft, they would not let us go on their driveway to get in there to access it. We went down to 5 Hubbardton, she said okay until she saw the excavator, and she denied us, no. So through some mapping that I looked at, Rolling Wood Road is a dead end, and that connects with Hubbardton. It goes in the same area that we want to go in. Mr. Pierce, who's given us the property to do this, or has worked with us, owns over to Rolling Wood. So I feel that,
Well, and he said we
and he
could
said
go on.
we could
Absolutely.
do it.
Dave knows, yeah.
Well, yeah, we don't have an easement. I guess the thing to do, we need a survey.
We need a survey, but in order to get the survey, we've got to go out there and do some clearing.
Right.
There's heavy brush, had some trees grown in there that are 3-4 inches diameter.
And it's my understanding that Pierce gave us the go-ahead.
Yeah, and I
Even
forwarded
before
Yes.
we exercised the land.
So there's,
Right.
there's probably 100 to 150 feet from Rolling Wood to where we have to go that we're looking at. I've asked the engineers that was engineering this, how big of an area are we going to entail? And they're still looking to see if it's going to be an acre, 2 acres. But I feel that to get the machines in there and to build it and to clear it, do everything we've done, this will be our access to get to this area. it's gonna be a permanent easement someday, so we can get in there to clean it, we're gonna need this way to get in and get out.
Okay, but for our purposes right now,
Right.
we need to get in there and cut it and do a survey, and that should be our access based on conversation with Pierce's previously.
Well, and I forwarded this to you.
Yeah.
I emailed him, the town is asking
Yes.
permission to access the rear of the property for our surveyor to take measurements and dig some small test holes
Right.
to verify the depth of the water table. They would enter off Foxcroft and be in the back corner. He said, that's fine.
Okay.
But
So
we're not going off
We're
Foxcroft.
not going
Can't
off
go off
Foxcroft,
Foxcroft.
we're still in the back.
We're still in the back corner?
We're still in the back corner, but we'll be going off all into it,
Okay,
which still encompasses this property.
all right.
But there's gonna be some,
Email me what exactly
Okay.
you're gonna do. I'll forward it to Pierce.
Okay.
And when I get it back, I'll forward it to you and Dave.
I'll see you. Thank
okay,
Let's get on one more thing. Do we know if the press work lab on there about the repair?
I honestly can't tell you anything, because I've been so busy. I have to do it tomorrow,
Okay.
let you know.
We'll put it on notice.
Right.
I thought we already did. Did we do that last time? Yeah. Okay, yeah, no.
Just reaffirm it.
Yeah.
you. One last thing, we talked about a clerk of the works on projects. A project like this perhaps, where the developer would pay for someone to make sure that everything, the planning board wanted, everything is done. Stormwater, how do we proceed? Is that something that we need to,
I think you have to define the duties of the position, create a position.
well, it would be, again, it's not something we're gonna pay for. So he would be responsible to follow the code, report back on progress or problems, but all on the contractor.
Yeah,
So
actually,
my question is that something that the planning board should be made aware of? Joe should be made aware of?
Yeah,
So
because
that
they
when
probably
they
want
talk-
to give some
when
input.
they talk to a developer, they
As
say,
to
oh,
what
by
they-
the way, this is also
This is
your
what-
responsibility.
Right, and this is what we're gonna be looking for as far as the clerk of the works. You're gonna bear the responsibility.
Right, so what do we need to do as a town board?
I thought we already,
Yeah.
Joe, don't we already have something in the ordinance that allows us to seek professional services in connection with these projects?
Only through the planning board.
Right. Can they retain an inspector or a clerk of the works to act on our behalf to verify that the construction is?
What exactly are we talking about?
Well, we talked about for want of a better word, clerk of the works, that the contractor pays for, to make sure that the stormwater is correct, that,
On the project.
on a project.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely what?
You have, the planning board has the authority to appoint that person
Right now.
right now.
Okay, so why don't we do that?
That's good.
but that's in the contracts I've been getting from Guy most of that, isn't it? Right, Joe? I mean, he goes and makes sure that the stormwater is correct.
No, he's not including inspection services in this fee. If he is, he's not showing up.
Okay, all
There's no
right.
physical inspections going on.
We can add that to the
Yeah,
contract.
So again, how do we go about doing that?
just make a motion that we add that to the contract, that's all. I don't think we have to start another, because it'll be put in with the current contract that we have, correct, Joe, or no?
The contract that he submits has to include inspection services.
Right.
And it's not exhaustive of clerk of the works, it's periodic inspections. That's,
So what's the verbiage? What should it say? What's the motion? How do we,
I don't think a motion has to be made, but the planning board has to request that the GIMO does the review for them and does periodic inspections of the project during the course, in life of the project.
Yeah, so it's a motion to request that the planning board ensure that proper supervisional services are rendered by the engineer in order to do regular inspections and verify the accuracy of the construction.
Right.
did you get all that, Gail?
Okay.
Was that a yes or no?
It's on tape.
Okay. I'll make that a motion.
Motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Rich.
Rich Lennon.
Doesn't make, just say
Rich.
Yeah, just say Rich. That's all.
You called me Rich the last meeting.
Anyone? Okay. I have some mitigation fees I put together. The Aldi's development for their extension, for their total impervious area and additional square footage of building, I have $5,556.05 that I calculated for Aldi development. If I can have a motion to approve that, I'll send that out for them to pay that fee.
So moved.
Motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Well Now development, this was the Well Now building, Aspen Dental. Additional square footage, additional impervious area, that's there, it's a total of $48,000, $48,060.94. That's the total for mitigation fee for the Well Now development. If I get a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Rich, second by Dave. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Okay, for the Woods Park Drive project, for the financial building, total square footage of building and impervious area is $26,680. That's the total mitigation fee. If I could have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Okay, Jan and Das's, putting up the golf cart garage that burned down. They're putting it back up, adding an additional 400 square feet. Total mitigation fees is $1,088. If I can have a motion to approve. Motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I have 4 more to do, and I'll have those for the next meeting. Okay, there's that. This is Dave, so you have a copy, 'cause I have one here. Okay, we got the school safety officer program agreements, same as last year. If I can have a motion to approve. Motion by Rich, second by Rich. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Oh, just briefly, Gymo Architects just did a kind of a little pro bono job of the rec center. I got some diagrams here, something that we might want to look at. There's some grants that are coming up next year for renovation work, adding locker rooms, taking care of the roof, putting a new roof on, and making it so it's fully functional around the rink. This is the rec center, yep. So, again, this shows the chiller being installed in the back area and stuff like that, out of the inside. But I just wanted to bring this in front of you. If you guys had any ideas, opinions, Rick too, any suggestions or anything, this was just the first conceptual plan that they came up with. So I'm just going to leave these with you guys and take a look at them in the office and the planning room and stuff and see if it's something that you have any ideas for. We had the second phase 2 for the Meadows, for the pilot program. Same pilot program as phase 1. They needed approval for that. Herb says we did it already, but
I thought we did it last meeting.
I just wanted to reconfirm that we make a
We're
motion.
continuing the pilot.
Right, for phase 2 now, for their project. So, if I could have a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Public hearing.
My only question was, it didn't specifically mention the rec center.
Oh, I just did the park.
Okay, but
It's
do
been-
we, should
Public
we?
health law prohibits smoking and vaping in specified indoor and outdoor public areas, including playground areas. I think the current law, if the rec center is used for youth activities and whatever, I think that covers it, but I'll be glad to double check that.
Okay, that's my only question.
Okay.
That appeared to be lacking, but
All right.
maybe it's not. And I'll make a motion, we schedule a public hearing.
Well, you want me to do the revision first? I probably should do a revision first for the August meeting, and then we'll schedule
Okay.
the public hearing.
All right.
I sent everybody information on the Kmart Plaza tax, or I don't know if you guys want to go into executive session and talk about possible settlement of that. It's in litigation.
Yeah, I'd like to, if you guys have a minute.
Yeah, just prior to that, just give me an update on the senior center.
Oh, perfect, yep.
Yeah, checked with them today, everything's okay, the water leak that was there, is fine, I guess the little heating thing, so they're all satisfied.
Good.
Everything's going good. Next Thursday is the 20-piece band is coming in, I don't know if you're aware of it. It's like a birthday thing, so it may get a little noisy. There were some concerns in terms of where they were gonna set up, so when they get here, I don't know, have you ever seen them?
They march through the building.
Yeah, they-
Don't they? I mean, they go through the building.
Let's take a shot.
Through all the
Yeah.
locker rooms, yeah.
The jail
Yeah, so
part.
they'll be here.
So we set it up in the corner.
Yeah, Court's gonna be going Thursday.
You're all forewarned.
Just
We'll schedule one of the interviews.
And then on the director, where do we stand? I know you gave us an email regarding what the duties we thought should be. 'Cause we're-
Yep, so I got yours. I mean, I didn't get any more comments. We have to just put a job rec together, and then again, it has to go by civil service, so we still have to pass it through them.
And then we gotta determine really how many hours we expect this person to work and what their duties are.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Because I'm getting a lot of questions in terms of, when is our things are gonna start to fire. I'm waiting on the new director before we do the bingo thing, so
Right.
that person
Okay.
can
Not for
initiate
profit
that.
status.
Can we all, each of us, just meet with Barb when it's convenient for us, and then let's compile with Barb, and then we'll go, and then the next meeting, we'll at least have something we can put out? Is that fair enough to say?
Yes.
'Cause it's harder to get us together than it is to, just whenever you guys can. I already got your email, so it's just, you two, and then Jim's not here anyway, so, I know he had some questions and stuff.
So,
Fair enough, okay. Anything else, anybody? Anything else? Anything? Joe, anything? No? Chief? No, Barb? Okay. All right, so,
Motion to go into executive session to discuss the pending Kmart tax surcharge proceeding.
So move, Joe.
Second.
1 second.
motion by Dave, second by Rich, discussion, all in favor? Aye.
We need a motion to come out of executive session.
So move.
Motion by Dave, second by Rich.
Rich W., all in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute. Rich W., okay.
Make a motion. Need a second.
Nobody's gonna second it,
I will second the motion to adjourn.
Okay, Rich Woodland made the motion, Dave Reynolds, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
I guess.